Going all through the learnings in my entire college life, dun ako papunta. So there were a lot of contemplations that you have to do and to really finalize before you go to your very first job after graduation. So I can say na it's very dynamic kasi may mga iba-ibang klaseng motivation, may mga iba-iba ding klaseng discouragement because you are not confident enough with your skills, you're not confident enough with your learnings, you are not confident enough because you can see malala ang competition dun sa career track na gusto mong tahakin. So medyo nadi-discourage ka. So maybe to end this answer, you better prepare yourself, all your strength, habang hindi pa kayo naghahanap ng first job nyo, mag-prepare na kayo ng guts, kapal ng muka, kapal ng resume and curriculum vitae because it really matters sa very first job na papasukan nyo. And you should always remember na it is always the first impression when it comes to your first work after graduation. So, malala ang pressure talaga. Yeah.
Thank you. So I will also answer the question. So my life after graduation, so nag-graduate po pala ako 2015 and I think 2-3 months after graduation, I landed my first job sa BU ILS Laboratory School. So life after graduation is actually a life of discovery, affirmation, and dependence. Discovery because this is the time that you are going to really know your purpose, understand if the next steps that you will be taking will be the life that you wanted to live for the next 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, however God wants you to live or however long you will be living your life. And affirmation because this is now also the time to really see if your academic performance, the simulations you have inside and outside the classroom, and the experiences that you had during your college, even high school and elementary, will really tell you how meaningful the people were, affirmation of your skills, of your competence, of your values, your character. Pipigain ka. This is now the time that people will see if this is a true BUNyo. Ano po? At this time, the ground, your groundings, ano po, your values, makikita hindi naman pinipiga ang orange at lumalabas ay lemon juice, diba? So affirmation of who you truly are and the experiences you have. And for me, this is just personal dependence. Of course, on my God, wherever your God is, fully depending that I really wanted to honor Him, whatever job I will be landing. Dependence also on the people na talagang I respect and the people that I considered my mentors, my anchor. And of course, 2 years after my graduation, I married. So that's life after graduation. Beautiful, but challenging at the same time.
Congratulations po on your marriage, Professor January. And we actually got insightful answers from our panelists. And personally, what I got from them, my take on this is that life after college is still a journey of self-discovery. And of course, affirmation is very important. And even though you guys are accomplished individuals already, you're still kind of doubting yourself. I found that quite comforting to find a common ground, a humanness of us all, that it's part of life, it's part of the journey, it's part of the process. So let's just enjoy the ride. Yeah.
So it's really a matter of direction setting and where we want ourselves to be headed at. And of course, during those journeys that we will be facing in life, there are a lot of circumstances. Many are unexpected actually that we just have to be emotionally ready for, mentally ready for, because these challenges would really test us, test our limits and to what capabilities we have. So the next question that I'm quite curious about, since we've been talking a lot about pressure and those kind of things, how does one keep the enthusiasm alive after graduating despite the difficulties?
Una na ako. Enthusiasm in our work, right? Well, let me borrow a phrase from one of Taylor Swift's song. Are you ready for it? And then, sagutin mo siya ng kanta ni Billie Eilish. What was I made for? Well, ano, yes, the enthusiasm. Di ba, nagka-block ako ng memory block. Okay, the enthusiasm. What really preserves me in my current position, well, just a little background. As of the moment, I'm still undergoing training for my new job from a new employer. So, dati, Philippine-based ang aking employment for the past 7 years. And right now, I on my first 3 months on my new work, pero US-based na siya. So kanina nag-uusap-usap kami ni na ma'am and ni sir about what keeps you being into that specific work. That's where passion comes in for me. Kasi nahanap ko yung work that really aligns to my passion as a multimedia creative, as an artist, as someone who are very into those colors, those paintings, digital art. That's what keeps me going with my everyday work. And the new set of knowledge that I'm absorbing right now is really making me feel parang ano yung effect ng steroids? Yung parang yung rush, yung adrenaline rush to try new things out of my new job. So, same instances din nung mga early employment ko that still aligns with my passion, like for multimedia. Yun yung driving force sa akin na gusto ko yung ginagawa ko. That's what keeps me motivated on doing the job as of the moment. Paano natin isusustain yun? Dito na pumapasok yung motivation natin to do more because we have our needs and wants in life. We have bills to pay. We have Aleco, we have Prime Water, we have PLDT, we have our postpaid plans, may mga utang tayo, may mga loans. Naiisip, Diyos ko, sinasabi ko pa lang na namomotivate na ako mag-work. Imagine ha, let me give this specific situation. Kunwari ang sweldo mo for 1 month is 40,000 pesos. And then, pag nare-receive mo yung payroll mo, andun na yung deductions for government mandatory benefits like amounting to more than 2,500 pesos. Dun pa lang sa impression na yun, ay, kailangan kong magtrabaho pa. Feeling ko kailangan ko pa ng side job because with all the expenses I have monthly, aside from the utilities, from the benefits being mandatory contributions being deducted to my salary, my daily allowance, my daily expenses, support to my family, and kung kani-kanino, konti na lang yung natitira sa akin. So it really keeps me on track to do more and to look for better jobs then. Aside from maintaining ourselves in this job, we also look for better opportunities that will really sustain our daily living. So it really goes to the needs and wants of a person that keeps them going and motivated to do their work.
Sige, I love that question. Thank you for that. What keeps me going? What keeps me enthusiastic in my work, you know? So, I don't know, pero parang may nakita ko ditong eduk student, magiging teacher. One thing that makes me really continue this profession, no, is seeing student like Justin here who are excelling, not only being excellent in whatever they are doing, but really good people. Sabi ko nga, every time, kung naging estudyante kita, maririnig mo to during our orientation. I don't want to be part of building evil geniuses. So, tumatango-tango siya. So, siguro, what motivates me na bumangon every day, kahit 7:30 ang class, for example, magtuturo, tatayo ka ng ilang oras. Of course, first and foremost, I always dedicate whatever I'm doing to my God. I've already mentioned that earlier. Because I know that life is short. Life is short. What keeps me enthusiastic is knowing that this world is not my home. So I have to give everything. I will always remember when my brother-in-law died at 28 and my grandfather-in-law died at 80. So in just 1 year, 2020, during the pandemic. And doon ko nakita na compared to eternity, their lifespan on earth doesn't mean anything. So it's how you are actually living your life. And knowing this thing, it will keep you motivated to do what you have to do. To really live life, knowing that you are sowing seeds that will benefit others. That you are not living your life for yourselves alone na eh. So, sa isang guro, ang magturo ka ng mali sa 30 na estudyante, it could multiply kasi. And sometimes students even believe their teachers more than their parents. So we have to be really mindful about that as well. But are we really modeling what we are teaching? I'm exploring ngayon isang libro, yung sabi doon, we preach what we practice. Hindi na lang practice what we preach, but we preach what we practice. So, yun, yung enthusiasm sa work will come from, ano yung pundasyon mo? What's your foundation? What really keeps you going at the end of the day? Ako excited ako mag-work kasi alam ko uuwi ako. Naghihintay sa akin yung asawa ko. Diba? I have a family. I have my, of course, my spiritual family, my biological family who will always be there to help me keep grounded. So, I have my mentors who will tell me if I'm doing the right thing or not. So there are lots of considerations why you are being enthusiastic in whatever you are doing. I have my workmates, my office mates, na, you know, they are there to support you. The point, my dear fellow BUenos, is, as a student, for example, be the best student that you can be. Yung enthusiasm na yon, you do not wait na magkaroon kayo ng trabaho. Whatever you are doing, wherever you are, make it a habit kasi madadala mo eh. Yes, there are outliers na talagang they've decided, but let's make it a habit to really be enthusiastic in doing what we have to do, doing the right thing as a student, as a teacher, as a nurse, as a media, talagang na-amaze ako sa work niya anyway. And of course, whatever profession or job you will land on in the future. So yun lang. Ask your why. At yan ang lagi kong tanong sa mga research students ko. What is your why? Why are you doing what you are doing? Apart from requirement, yung research, why is that your topic? Kasi mamamotivate kang tapusin ang isang bagay kapag alam mo kung bakit mo ginagawa ang ginagawa mo sa ngayon. So, yun siguro, be grounded, know your foundations, and it will keep you enthusiastic in whatever job you land. Last siguro, no, I was reminded, sabi nung isa na, this was a really good quote that really struck me na kung ikaw daw ay joyful sa kahit na anong work, for example, may isang street sweeper, and you are actually doing something, making other people's lives easier, you are the best street sweeper that you can be. So kahit ano pa yan, if sabi nga na Justin, you're enthusiastic, it will really help you, it will keep you going.
For me, for a quick background, I am a nurse too sa DOH region under Regulation, Licensing, and Enforcement Division. So, parang masyado siyang malayo sa typical nursing graduate na nag-hospital or nagko-community work. But for me, there's a lot of opportunities for nurses for us to stay here in the Philippines. For example, my position is a way for us to check and ensure that all hospitals and the healthcare facilities in the Bicol region are within the standards of the Department of Health. In that way, I make sure myself that I contribute for the community to ensure that all hospitals are providing the quality healthcare services for our Bicolanos. So what made my job more interesting and motivational? First, the interaction. Second, the growth. Third is the environment. First is the interaction. On my first year as a licensing officer, I was able to tour around the Bicol region, visit the level 1 infirmary and other hospitals and healthcare facilities in the Bicol region. I was able to grasp the current situation of our hospital, kung gaano kakulang yung nurses, medtechs, yung sources when it comes to healthcare services, yung struggle ng ordinary Filipino na gusto lang maka-experience ng genuine healthcare services, andun siya sa grassroots level ng healthcare system natin. With that, andun yung para siyang nag-spark ng passion with me to strive harder to reach my dream as a doctor and work in the healthcare system in order for me to spark some changes with our healthcare delivery system in the future. So yung interaction with me as the licensing officer, as a nurse too, with the ordinary people is a way for me to provide a change in a simple way. Sabi nga nung friend ko na small progress is still a progress. And we start our progress in the grassroots level if you want to make a change in the future. Second, yung growth. Yung growth is kasama siya ng learning. Di ba nga, yung learning ko as a nursing student is far from the job position as a nurse too in Department of Health. Kasi yung nurses sa hospital, it's more of patient care, providing the basic needs ng hospital and the patient, wherein as a nurse to in the community, we provide yung needs ng hospitals in order for them to provide the needs of the patients. And with that, yung learning ay palaging nag-grow, andun lang siya, and it's very important for us na dapat yung job natin provides us information or spaces for growth. Kasi if hindi na tayo nag-grow sa isang work opportunity or yung job natin, it's high time for us to go outside our comfort zone and look for job opportunities that are aligned with our passion, with our career, na nagpo-provide pa ng more learnings for us. Kasi for me, every day is a learning process. It's very important for us na nagle-learn tayo every day kasi yung mga educational materials, nag-upgrade din sila day by day, years by years. And it's very important for us na maging updated when it comes to the current health trends, the societal health issues, and other issues in order for us to be more informed kasi mas lamang ang may alam. And for last reason is the environment. It's very important for us na job seekers or kailangan siyang maging isa sa criteria when it comes to looking for a job. Kasi yung environment, dun ka mag-grow, andun yung learning, andun yung kasama mo, yung colleagues mo. Para siyang ako as a seedling, yung environment ko or yung lupa is yung Department of Health. Yung learning, andun yung sun, yung water, and other nutrients na mag-help sa akin to grow in that environment. And as I grow in that environment, it's also my job and my responsibility to provide learnings to the newcomers sa aming division. Kasi aside from yung learning is a day-by-day process, learning can be also be learned. Experience can be experienced, but it's very important that we have the empathy and sympathy when it comes to work, when it comes to providing service with our clients, and when it comes to providing the genuine healthcare services for our fellow Filipinos po.
A lot of quotable quotes already. These to be pondered on, like para kanino ka bumabangon, and why are you doing the thing you're doing? Small progress is still progress. Experience can also be experience. And as students, when we enter graduation, we look at it as like entering a new chapter in our lives. And with reference to that, I would like to ask, what's the biggest challenge that you encountered during that transition period from being a college student to having a tambay na may degree for a while?
For my situation, after graduation, we have a 5 to 6 months review session for board exams. Tapos after passing the board exam, I took my time to rest for 3 months. Then andun yung during my rest, andun yung challenge of yung FOMO, yung fear of missing out. Kasi everyone from my batch are already working in the hospital or having their experience, work experience, compared to my situation na I am taking my break. So yung FOMO is a great challenge for me kung paano with the kung ano na ba yung nakalatag na plans or career plans ko in the future after passing the board exam. Kasi it's very hard for us. On my point of view, aside sa pressure, andun yung community verdict na parang, uy, di ba outstanding graduate ka in leadership? Di ba cum laude ka? Di ba ito yung mga natanggap mo? Tapos ito yung trabaho mo? Parang yun yung mangyayari. Parang nagkakaroon ng stereotype when it comes to those students na nag-achieve or yung mga achiever na graduate students. But for me, naging challenge siya, but it's for us to show to ourselves and to the people na nagkakaroon ng comments with our life na it's our own choices. Yun nga, we have our own timeline. We have our own story to tell. And it's okay na magkaroon ng fear of missing out as long as alam mo sa sarili mo na you are doing great, you are doing good, wala kang ginagawang masama, and yung career plans mo is already there. You just need to take the first step and you just continue to move forward and hindi mo mamamalayan andun ka na sa finish line or andun ka na sa end goal mo as kung ano man yung naging career path na ginusto mo.
Very nice yung sinabi ni Jave. I'd like to give emphasis on the word FOMO, fear of missing out, because it was a really big challenge for me noon. No, even before graduating, even before I started college, as early as siguro fourth year high school ako noon, I was already feeling the pressure of what should I be, what should I become after graduating? And ano yung magiging tamang track ko in the future. So, ang nangyari sa akin, I made a roadmap for myself as early as first year college, which I really regretted kasi masyado ako nag-stick dun sa timeline and sa roadmap without even considering that there will always be failures, there will always be challenges, hurdles, obstacles that, mafe-face mo siya. Di mo siya maiiwasan and you really need to overcome all of those challenges. So, when I encountered those challenges, I'm still feeling the fear of missing out kasi palapit ng graduation, ang mga plans ng mga kaklase ko, established na. Nag-share na sila kung saan sila papunta. Pa Manila sila, papunta silang other countries. May mga reserved na silang job opportunities na Paano ako? Well, according sa roadmap ko, dapat ganito na ako, sa ganitong petsa. That added to the pressure I'm feeling even before graduating. So, nung may mga na-encounter akong challenges, nagbago yung roadmap ko and na-revise hanggang sa nawala. I just let the divinity, the universe decide whatever comes after those challenges. I really believe on that saying na sinabi ni Catriona Gray that you will only be redirected after those obstacles and hurdles na na-overcome mo. Kasi baka yun talaga yung desisyon ng universe para sa iyo. Baka dito ka talaga nararapat. Those challenges and hurdles, obstacles, really made you into something stronger because dito ka talaga pala dapat sa career path na to. So doon ko na-appreciate yung challenges in life. Financially, emotionally, mentally, even physically kasi human tayo. At the end of the day, napapagod tayo. Ang isip natin napapagod, kailangan natin ipahinga lahat. So, nag-work ako agad, but after realizing kailangan ko din pala magpahinga, I took some break and finally decided na, magaling ako dito. Ito pala yung skills na nag-excel ako. Further assessments, nahanap ko yung yung career path na sa tingin ko mag-excel na ako and matagal-tagal na ako for long term na.
Sige, thank you for the question. Siguro the greatest challenge after graduation, apart from the fact na nung estudyante ka, kapag may scholarship ka, you have an allowance. Kapag may magulang ka nagpapaaral sa'yo, hingi ka ng allowance. This time, you really have to make decisions for yourselves. So the greatest challenge actually is, how are you going to make decisions that you know will really determine your life few years from that decision? I remember siguro si Steve Jobs yung nagsabi na you'll never actually connect the dots looking forward. You will only connect the dots looking backward. So looking backward, these challenges actually, tama, pareho si Jave at si um, Carl, tama. That it made them stronger, ano. But really, kahit everyday, ngayon bilang estudyante, it's a challenge to make a choice. It's a difficult thing to do what is right in any situation, in any circumstances. So I have to decide, siguro mga two challenge that I face, no? The first one, nung either I will continue my master's degree habang nagtatrabaho ako, I have to decide since wala yung tatay ko, wala din yung nanay ko that time, I have to decide if I will continue my master's or ibibigay ko yung pang-tuition ko dun sa sumunod kong kapatid. No, for that matter, para siya naman yung makapagtapos ng pag-aaral. So after graduation, you have lots of responsibilities. As I've mentioned, not only for yourself, but for your family as well. So you really have to make big decisions. Magre-review ba ako for my board exam? Or mag-aaral? Or magtatrabaho? So you have to really make big decisions. After graduation, it's you na. Yeah, it's really good. I really praise God for the people around me. May nahihingan ako ng advice, may nahihingan ako ng mga tamang tao, ng concern, and talagang right directions. However, at the end of the day, it's you who will decide. So kahit ang gaganda ng advice nila, it's now the time that you make a decision. And of course, I praise God. Nag-stop ako mag-master sa BU. But you know, praise God, He has other plans. I took my master's in another country in scholarship as well. So, you know, you have to make decisions, difficult decisions in life. But it will trigger you as well to really, you know, develop who you really are, your values, your framework. What are your priorities? Parang nalala ko kanina, pinag-uusapan natin yung priorities. So, siguro yon. It's a challenge. Actually, it's an everyday challenge. Pero, paka-graduate, medyo kailangan mo ng mag-take responsibility sa decisions. You will not blame other people na eh. You will not point fingers. But you have to make difficult decisions after graduation. So, my challenge is, as early as now, really maximize the opportunity you have in the university so that you will really learn, not only siguro cognitively, but really, you will really form your values. Para pag nag-decide kayo, alam nyo kung bakit yun yung decision niya. So, yun siguro, it's difficult to always make a choice.
So earlier on, we delved on a more realistic question like how's life after college. Now, we're going to weigh on two prongs, practicality versus your passion in life. So with that, may I ask, what's your advice to those students who are conflicted in choosing a more practical field after college rather than chasing something that they're more passionate about?
I would love to answer that question, ano? About passion and practicality. Kasi ang tanong dyan, pareho naman eh. What's the purpose? For passion kasi, I don't know, no? Siguro tumatanda na ako. Medyo matanda na ako, kaya ganito ako mag-isip. But I want you to also discover it for yourself. This is just me speaking at my age right now, at my status right now, ano. For me kasi, for example, how do you actually define passion? I can be so passionate and so practical about my teaching. What I mean is this. Kasi pag practical ako, iisipin ko na naman sarili ko. Honestly, sarili ko. Pag naging passionate na naman ako, passion ko, yan. So, ako na naman. Siguro nasa level na ako ng buhay ko. Hindi ko tanda ko na, no? Nasa level na ako ng buhay ko na, am I really thinking about others more than myself? It doesn't mean na I will not take care of myself naman, ah. I cannot give what I don't have as well. My point is, pagdating doon sa passion and sa practicality, anong motivation? Bakit pipiliin mo yung passion mo? Kung meron mang distinction, ah. Anong motivation? Ba't gusto mo mas maging practical? For example, ako, gusto ko maging practical. So, dapat pagka-graduate, naghanap ako ng work na madali akong or eto na lang, for practical reasons, sa awa ng Diyos, nag-aral naman tayo ng mabuti. Pag ginagawa mo yung dapat mong gawin, may mga bonus ka. Sa awa ng Diyos, meron din tayong mga awards na natanggap. Kung practical ang rason lang, ang pinakamadali sa point of view ng mga tao, di ba, you could work in multi-billion companies, go abroad, or kung saan pa man, ano ang pinaka-practical, ano? Pero for example, di mo gusto. For me kasi mag-work ka sa trabaho para lang sa pera, hindi pa rin practical yon. Like yes, it will feed you, mag-ano ka ng bills. Pero kung magsasuffer yung mental health mo, what I mean is, hindi pa rin siya practical. I just don't know. You may agree or disagree with me. Another thing naman, yung sa passion, for example, diba, halimbawa, sa Pilipinas daw, for example, yung arts, yung music, sa ibang tao, hindi siya practical na field. Pero hindi mayayaman kaya mga artista natin. However, sa ibang mindset, hindi siya practical kasi hindi kaagad. Sanay tayo sa gratification na agad-agad eh. So hindi agad nagbubunga, di ba? Yung mga artist, medyo matagal, yung pag-exhibit or anything bago sila makilala sa field. So para sa iba, hindi yun practical. It's about passion na naman. It's your passion. But hindi mo siya i-pursue. So parang ganon. So ang tanong na naman doon, tapos siyempre iisipin mo, yung magulang mo, yung pamilya mo, yun yung practical. That's the common conceptions. So may mga different factors. Sa akin, honestly, growing up, I thank God na passion ko mag-aral. So dahil passion ko mag-aral, challenge ko to sa mga estudyante ko sa education, dahil passion ko mag-aral, I have to share it. Kasi kapag nagsimula na akong hindi magkaroon ng passion sa pag-aaral, learning new things, I have to stop my profession. I have to stop teaching. Kasi that's also the time that, hindi ko maibibigay yung dapat ibigay ko sa kanila. So what I mean is, for practical reasons, graduate ako ng EDUC, nagturo ako, syempre. But at the same time, I love doing it kasi. So siguro, nakalimutan ko lang sino nagsabi, pero find a job daw, wherein every day, you will never think of it as a job, as if you are working. Talagang it's your passion, pero naman, ideal world, but we are not in an ideal world. This is a broken world. May reality. Pero ang challenge ko, para saan? Para kanino? Pag yung passion mo yung pinili mo, pag for practical reasons naman, you have to consider many things kasi. But at the end of the day, lalo na yung mga graduating dito, halimbawa ako, sorry, hindi ako kumakanta at sumasayaw pero halimbawa lang, di ba pwede naman, habang after ko magturo, mag-join ako ng dance club or music club. I mean, kung iba man yung passion ko sa trabaho ko or sa practice na kumikita ako. So, yun siguro. It's just how you view these two sides of the spectrum. Sabi ko nga, bilang matanda na po ako, kaya siguro ganon yung perspective ko. But it could be different for different people. Ano po? But we could be so passionate about and be practical at the same time sa ginagawa natin. Ano po?
kanina before kami mag-start about discussing what we're gonna give, what kind of answers ibibigay namin. Sabi ko, mag-disclaimer muna tayo. Kasi this may not be applicable to everyone, to all students like you. Iba-ibang situation natin in life. But for me, again, this is from my point of view and sets of experiences after graduating. Number one consideration for us noon is finances. That's why nauna sa akin ang practicality. Yes. I'm honest with that kasi ang hirap ng buhay ngayon sa ekonomiya ngayon. Aminin natin sa hindi. We are in the Philippines where opportunities are very limited. Ang konti ng opportunities that enables us to pursue our passion because of trying times, economic challenges, and the environment we are all living in. Tama yung sinabi ni Jave that when you choose your first job, important factor ang environment. But majority of the population in the Philippines are not in a good environment to start their career with. Number one factor, job mismatch. Second factor, their family economic backgrounds. Third factor, the number of opportunities available to them. And all other factors like support and from the government, from the private sectors, and so on and so forth. So it's really hard to pursue your passion here in the Philippines, to be honest. Pero, eto na yung pero, kasi nakapag-ipon ako eh. Slowly, we're getting there. We're becoming financially stable as we go with our practical reasons. Eventually, tama yung sabi ni Ma'am na nasasanay na rin tayo. Everyday, parang hindi na lang siya nagiging trabaho kasi nagiging part na siya ng routine nyo. But there are some na nagfo-fall out because nagsasawa na sila. But because of practical reason, they have to stick to that job because that's what sustains their everyday life. But as you go through your everyday life and going on with what pushes you to go forward, maybe sometimes in the future, papunta ka na din dun sa passion mo. Because everything that is happening right now will greatly contribute to the future you want in the future, to the future you want. And maybe kapag nakaahon-ahon ka na, meron ka ng, mas less na yung factors of practicality, you can now pursue for your passion. Ako, andun ako sa level or percentage na 60% passion, 40% for practicality. You guys will also get there sometime in the future. And ang swerte nyo kung ang course nyo is very aligned sa kung ano talaga ang gusto nyo in the future. Yung mga nagbuset, I'm pretty sure meron sa inyo na ang first choice, hindi talaga yung first choice nila. Yung second choice talaga yung first choice. Di ba? May mga ganyang instances, may mga ganyang situation. Ako pinili ko computer science kasi akala ko puro lang codes. Yun pala puro math. Mathematics. So, it really depends on a person's situation, background, and where you come from, and yung upbringing, environment, maraming factors. Pero for me, nauna yung practicality and nag-follow na lang yung passion. But I hope, sana sa inyo, kung kaya pa naman, try to go with your passion kasi dun din sa pag-try mo sa passion mo, baka hindi talaga yung passion mo, mapunta ka din sa ibang path. So you started with experimenting with your career and then finally, baka mapunta ka sa tamang landas with your experiment din. So yun, thank you.
For me, passion versus practicality, dalawang parts kasi yan. Yung first part, passion versus practicality is kung kailan tayo pumapili ng course natin for college. Yung practicality na ito yung gusto ng parents natin kasi it's the practical way for us in the future versus our passion kasi ito yung gusto kong course. So, sino sa inyo dito yung gusto talaga yung course na tinitake nyo? And sino dito yung pinili yung course dahil gusto to ng parents nyo? So, yun yung struggle na first na na-encounter ng student when it comes to passion and practicality. But it's very important for us to identify ourselves through our passion dahil dun tayo mag-strive, dun tayo mag-grow. Kaya sa piliin natin kung ano yung gusto ng parents natin. Pero at the end of our college days or after graduation, hindi naman tayo masaya sa tinake natin na course. Para tayong nagsayang ng 4 years or 5 years para lang ma-gratify natin yung gusto ng parents natin. It's time for us to choose for ourselves. Sure, tayo din naman yung na-navigate ng life natin after graduation. Yung second part ng passion versus practicality after graduation, it's fortunate for me to find my passion, practicality in one environment. Kailangan ko kasi after graduation is gusto mag-work sa hospital ng more than 8 hours na may overtime pero underpaid, madaming pasyente, over working dito sa government agents to work 8 to 5 hours but earning better compared to the hospital. Pero andun yung passion both. Nagdi-differ lang sila sa practicality. Kaya yung pinili ko, yung mas better for the practicality, but andun yung passion to provide service, healthcare service for the Filipino. And it's very important for us sa inyo na mga graduating students na makahanap ng job opportunity na nagko-coincide yung practicality and passion. Actually, naman ng work opportunities ngayon na andun yung passion, andun yung practicality. More on, marami na yung mga US-based na job opportunities when we can work remotely, we can work online. But it's for us to define on how we will work, on how we define our career path. Kasi at the end of the day, it's up to us on how to navigate or how we will navigate our life on our decision in choosing passion versus practicality. Di ba nga, sabi nga ni Catherine sa The House of Us, kung mapapakain ba tayo ng passion na yan. At some point, there are passion-based opportunities or job opportunities that can feed a lot of stomach. There are also practical jobs that can feed also a lot of stomach. It is up for us to choose wisely, the same in choosing for leaders that will govern us. Kasi kung ano yung government natin, andun din yung job opportunities na magpo-provide sa mga kapwa natin Filipino. So, bawat decision natin is a domino effect on the different things that we are taking in life, especially in our job opportunities that we want to pursue. Yun lang po.
So ayun, thank you so much for that. Actually, natamaan ako dun sa kung ano yung government, yun din yung ipro-provide kasi I'm a public administration student. So the pressure is on really bringing that new kind of governance that the people really need. And so far, what I've learned is life is really about decision making. And it's about the choices that we have to consider and those kind of things. With that, I want to share this theory that I have learned from one of our subjects, the psychological foundation of public administration. It's the cognitive dissonance theory. It's about yung kung ano yung dinidesisyon mo or kung ano yung ginagawa mo, dapat tugma sa kung ano yung prinsipyo, pinaniniwalaan at gusto mo talaga sa buhay. Kasi kapag hindi yun nagtutugmang dalawa, you will feel discomfort. Hindi ka komportable, hindi ka matutuwa, hindi ka satisfied. So that's something that we have to keep in mind because if we keep on working with things that we don't want or we keep on deciding with things that do not really align with what we believe and subscribe in, then yung output or yung magiging product ng work natin, it's not something that we can be proud of. And yun yung pinakamahirap, the moment na ma-burn out tayo. So, partner, do you have any other questions?
Na looking at the credentials sa likod ng aking partner, parang lahat po kayo have been student leaders. And marami din nagsabi sa akin na pag student leader ka pa, very idealistic ka, andyan pa yung advocacy mo, pero po ang tanong, pagkatapos po ba mag-graduate, andun pa din po ba yung advocacy mo? Lalo na po, wala nang masyadong avenue for you to pursue it kasi you're busy na with life being life.
With that question, luckily I was able to practice my job coincides with my advocacy. So as a nurse to ando na nga provide or ensure that the hospitals are within the standards based from the bar. Yung advocacy ko as a student leader way back 2 years ago is more on providing the needs in the grassroots level. So, yung one of my community event, yung Yakap ng Pangarap, it is a community event that provides slippers, coloring books, and education materials to preschool students in order for them to help navigate their first step in education. With that, parang tinutulungan namin sila or we are providing educational materials about proper hygiene, oral hygiene, na to show that health is a vital factor for us when it comes to pursuing education or like if we want to navigate our life and to pursue on the different aspects in the future. And I am happy na I was able to still promote my advocacies. Last year, every December, we provide this Yakap ng Pangarap together with my fellow student leaders way back in college. And it's very nice na parang aside from working, aside from earning, I was able to practice or provide community events in the community as part of my advocacy and as part to spark changes in the lives of other people. And lastly, I always believe that if we have the capability to reach out to people, especially to the grassroots level, we should use it as a platform to stand up for a cause.
With regards to the advocacy, tayong mga student leaders, di basta-basta nawawalan ng passion. Totoo yan for all the student leaders na na-meet ko. Yung fire keeps burning until even after graduation and finding our job. Same with Jay, I also found a job that really practiced my advocacy and for me to be able to give back to the community with my knowledge in computer science, specifically in blockchain technology. So in my previous employment, we had this lots of events about digital literacy and campaigns and orientation on what is blockchain technology is about and how it could alleviate various challenges in many societal levels kasi it's a very beneficial technology that everyone would benefit. And apart from that, nandun yung network ko ng mga former student leaders din and mga community leaders that also helped me realize my advocacies. So during my tenure as a former in a software development company, andun din yung mga former student leaders and community leaders na na-meet ko before na nasa BU din and dun din nag-work. And then kami-kami din yung nagmi-meeting to, oh guys, gawa naman tayo ng event to improve our community in terms of digital literacy, on dealing with fake news online, how to use social media responsibly, mga ganon. So, I've been into many events where I become a speaker on discussing topics about blockchain, about cybersecurity, and so on and so forth. And then, on that part, napaka-fulfilling siya kasi nagtatrabaho ako, but at the same time, I'm giving back to the community that I belong to. So, yes, napapractice ko pa rin yung advocacy ko and at the same time, nakakapagtrabaho din. And ang masaya pa dito kasi you will meet a lot of people and you will also grow your network of community leaders. So yun yung pinakagusto ko na nakuha ang benefit doon. That it's not only for the corporations, it's not only for profits, but also by giving back to the community. Maswerte tayo na nasa ganito tayong mga positions, but hindi tayo pwedeng hayaan na lang natin na may naiiwan when it comes to progress. Dapat sama-sama tayong nag-a-advance. That's what I'm really fighting for then with my advocacies before. And as of the moment, I'm a member of Albay ICT Association. So USC, if you'd like to partner with us sa mga digital literacy campaigns namin and further improving the digital economy of the province, join us. Just contact me and magkakape tayo. Pag-usapan natin yung mga programs natin na pwede nating ibigay sa community through our partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as a student leader, I always believe na every individual has in themselves naman that nabanggit kanina yung term na burden. I don't know, siguro hindi lang kayo nabigyan na magkaroon ng posisyon or anything, but you can be a student leader, we are actually banking on the 4 pillars, and one of them actually is leadership. But one of my advocacy actually is not on leadership per se, but actually that big term, character. So ever since, it's really a big term, no? Ever since, I always believe in not only in holistic education, especially highlighting values education. Nakanood ko lang nung isang documentary sa Netflix, yung Daughters of Destiny, if you've actually also watched them. That was really a good series, and it really takes, of course, character, competence, connections, and of course, capital, kailangan ng pondo to really provide access to quality education. But before you are able to really look into that, siguro yung passion na yon, lalo na sa mga educators dito, it should never stop sa paggawa lang ng mga events. Events will be there, pero ang namin, siguro kami ni husband, ang advocacy talaga namin sa buhay is to really, model a life or really have this lifestyle that will touch at least one or two in our lives. And they will also do something for others. And I really thank God for the background, the people, yung experience sa student leadership. Kasi pareho kami na husband student leaders when we were in college. Doon din namin na-experience how to really do something for other people without expecting anything in return. And as a teacher, every day we have to make that decision. Ngayon, meron kaming extension project sa BUSE. Talagang nakikita namin how teachers, specifically in the public school system, will really extend their time to really advance literacy. Kahit mahirap, kahit it will really take your time. So in whatever you are doing siguro, hindi siya mawawala if really you are embracing whatever advocacy you will be having in the future. As for me personally, dun talaga ako sa, sabi ko nga sa mga estudyante ko, talagang um, producing educated individuals, not only schooled. May napanood ako na isang video, ang totoo daw na educated actually is kind. So naalala ko yung president natin ngayon, incumbent Suk President 4, sabi niya he wants talaga to, kumbaga, share kindness to all. Kasi we are a university for humanity. So, yun siguro, lapatan natin ng tamang pag-uugali, yung kaalaman na meron tayo. And it will take a lifetime to really advance that to any group of people, whatever their life stage may be. So, yun.
This is quite a controversial take in our educational system, but I would like to know if a laude attached to your name will make or break your career. Does it have certain benefits, a leverage, or when you're in the working field, all of you are pantay-pantay lang?
Latin honor, no? Is it an advantage or not? Siguro ang sagot dyan, it will be depending on the environment you are in. I've experienced this, no, personally. May advantage. We have to be honest with that. Pero sa anong lens? Because of course, nag-philosophize tayo, no? Whatever lens you will be using, kahit paulit-ulit nating sabihin na yung grades doesn't define who you are, but your grades, my dear students, feeling ko nasa classroom ako, no? My dear Bayueños, actually, will reflect how you are performing inside the classroom. And of course, it will make your parents proud. Ako natutuwa pag umiiyak ang tatay ko pag inuwian ka ng medal, di ba? So it will really make your parents proud as well. And yes, there is an advantage, siguro sa Pilipinas na context. However, kapag nasa field na kasi kayo, to be honest, minsan, yung mga walang award before, mas nag-e-effort, in all honesty, no, based on experience. Siguro when I was in Australia, based on experience, it was a different story. Hindi nila though doon sa scholarship kailangan may honor ka or anything. Pero pag andun ka sa field, hindi nila masyadong tinitingnan. May mga multi-billion companies, ang tinitingnan po ngayon, yung response. Pagpasok nyo sa interview, ang tinitingnan yung ugali nyo. Pagpasok nyo pa lang doon, like the life skills, how you communicate. But yes, maybe may advantage pag submit mo ng resume and all. Sa Philippines, masyado pa tayong, kung baga, nakafocus dyan. Pero there are other skills that other companies are actually looking for. And maganda, masarap pakinggan yung mga ganong credentials. And nakaka-proud, nakaka-amaze. However, every year, nagpo-produce tayo ng maraming honor students. What will make you different now? So, what is your advantage? Or what is your edge? So, siguro dun papasok yung ibang skills, yung mga experiences nyo as a student leader. And of course, babalik ako sa ground roots nyo, your character, your virtue and all. Yun siguro yung i-highlight. But it does matter, practically speaking. May advantage siya.
I really agree with what Ma'am January have said. Kasi, karoon ng Latin honors, may kaakibat siyang responsibility sa workplace that you should do good or do better Kasi yun yung expected sa inyo sa field. But andun pa rin yung holistic approach when it comes to field na andun yung knowledge, skills, and attitude. Ito yung tatlong criteria na dapat mapossess nyo when it comes to job seeking or filing for job opportunities. Kasi in our time, madami na yung nagkakaroon ng Latin honors. There is an increased percentage ng Latin honors, but there's nothing wrong with that kasi we have our own grading system. Yun nga yung sabi ni Ma'am January na lahat na tayo, mostly of our graduates are may Latin honors, but what makes us different with other people? Actually, yun yung tanong sa akin nung nag-apply ako. Comparing to other applicants na mayroon ng mayroon na silang current job, compared to me na I only have organizational duties way back college, yung sagot ko sa kanila na as a product of hybrid educational system, the educational system made me more adaptive with the changes that happened in my life, especially with my education. But as I adapt, it's very important that we innovate. Ngayon, hindi lang dapat nag-a-adapt tayo sa mga changes na nangyayari sa buhay natin. Nag-a-adapt tayo, pero we make something different with that adaptation. Ano yung innovation na ginagawa natin as we adapt? Kasi ando nakikita ng employer natin na we think outside the box, we provide more based on the minimum requirements that they are looking for. And it's a point for us or an edge for us to be selected as one of their employees. And with that, may points yung pagiging cum laude, may points yung may awards. But at the end of the day, we need to value yung knowledge, skills, and attitude kasi it makes us more holistic. It makes us more better to the other applicants that we are applying for sa mga job opportunities, and we need to ensure din na pag nasa job na tayo, huwag tayong na we need to do great dahil ito yung expectations to parang maging sabay tayo sa flow ng environment based on the expectations and responsibilities na meron tayo. We need to work based on the job description that we have. We can work beyond based on the innovations that we have. But it's very important for us to limit ourselves based on the things that expected us to do. But it's important for us i-ensure yung health when it comes to working and yung safety kasi sa sobrang pag-overthink natin dahil honors tayo, cum laude tayo, andun yung naapektuhan na yung work natin, yung pag-deliver natin ng work. Kaya kailangan we need to think and act accordingly based on the given responsibilities that are expected to us. Thank you.
For my situation naman, well, in the multimedia and creative scene kasi in our industry, given na very competitive ang mga applicants because what really matters the most sa aming mga creatives is yung portfolio. The evidence that you have the specific skill sets and aptitude to do those on the job description na nire-require ng employer mo. But to answer the question na Latin honors, being cum laude, have lots of citation, does it really matter? For me, it matters during job application, may edge ka. Kasi sa experience ko, may mga times na may mga kasabay akong applicants na merong mga Latin honors and ako, ordinaryong estudyante lamang. Hindi, wala akong Latin honors but I was also cited as the most outstanding student for leadership and service And yung background ko as a student leader, dun sa resume ko nilagay ko or sa curriculum vitae nilagay ko siya, and somehow it worked for me sa situation ko kasi the the position that I'm applying for was looking for a leadership role in a specific skill. I mean, in a specific team that has these specific skill sets. So, for me, madali kong na-navigate yung job application because of my portfolio and skill sets that I had. So, during my college days as a student leader, I was part of the council and I've been doing a lot of multimedia and creative works. So, yung mga work ko before sa council, naging part siya ng portfolio ko and naging key siya para magkaroon ako ng advantage or edge among other applicants na may mga Latin honors but nag-start pa lang ng portfolio nila. 'Di ba? So, sa industry namin, very competitive. Kung wala kang may present na portfolio or mas kaunti yung accomplishment mo when it comes to multimedia and creatives, hindi ka makakapag-advance agad-agad. But if you have the projects, the skills, the imagination, pag pinagsama-sama mo siya, you have a better chance of getting that role on the company you're applying for. I had many failures on job applications, specifically mga recent months. Started when I resigned from my previous job. So, maraming requirements yung mga companies like dapat marunong sa ganitong skill sets, dapat ganito, ganito, ganyan. But, finilter out ko yung mga jobs na mag-a-align talaga sa kung anong portfolio meron na ako. And during the job application, may mga kasabay din ako nag-apply na may mga Latin honors and all. But, wala silang masyado may present na portfolio as proof of their experience. So, it depends on the job that you're applying for. And it also, malaking factor talaga yung leadership traits and character mo. Kasi I believe on the principle na lahat ng tao teachable. We are perpetual learners. So, yung mentor ko sabi sa akin, basta yung character mo, ayusin mo lang. Kasi when you have this great character that you're flexible, you can adapt to any kind of environment na nilalagay ka ng boss mo. It's a way of testing you that you're a teachable person, that you can be equipped with with skills that might be needed on your future employment. So you have a manager, you're a student, tinitrain ka para gawin yung trabaho, and the character is a very important aspect on that. So, if hindi ka teachable and medyo may barrier between the manager and you as an employee when it comes to character, magkakaproblema ka talaga sa employment, even on your next job on your next jobs. So, it really depends on the situation. But if you're a student leader, for me, feeling ko may edge kayo in the future. Kasi may background na kayo, pwede kayo magkaroon agad ng leadership role, manager ng isang team, ganito, ganyan. Just make sure na yung character nyo when you're applying is there. The proper etiquettes, professional ethics, andyan dapat. Thank you.
So ayun, just a response. As someone from the Robredo Institute, one of Jesse Robredo's most famous quote, ang dapat matino at mahusay. So hindi lang daw dapat mahusay, hindi lang din dapat matino. So these two do really come hand in hand, character and our skills. So ayun, partner, should we proceed to the open forum and entertain at least one final question from the audience?
Yes, partner. I guess we should proceed with the open forum proper. And so, to our audience, do you have questions dedicated to our dear panelists? Mga shy pa ata sila. Or baka wala na talagang maisip. So siguro po, to wrap up our discussion, may we ask a quotable quote from you? Pabaon lang sa amin.
Okay, sige, impromptu, ano tayo, no? Quote creation. Parang songwriting lang. Okay, siguro, instead of a quote, I'm just gonna say 3 words. Persevere, skills, and faith. Yung 3 words na yun na lang yung i-associate ko sa on your future endeavors as part of the workforce. Persevere, faith, and talent or skills. Yun yung sigurong ingredients for you to really advance sa mga gusto niyong marating sa buhay.
Siguro I would just like to ask a question sa lahat ng estudyante ng BU in particular. We are now in the season that, sabi nga ni Carl, very competitive. Ano po? So my question is, what is your brand? What you can offer as a graduate of this premier university in the region? So, who you are will matter po as you venture into your whatever profession, passion you are planning to pursue in the future. So maybe just focus on what you can do and what you can offer that will really, sabi ko nga, ang mantra ko sa buhay, in anything that I do, I want to glorify the Lord and do something that will benefit other people. So yun siguro.
For our BUNers, my fellow BUNers, as early as now, it's high time for us to make a plan on how to navigate our life for the future years. Important for us to decide as early as now on the things that we want to future. Para in the future, kung meron mang redirections, we are prepared to be redirected. And it's very important also na as we became more adaptive and innovative on the things that we are doing, especially when we are applying for a job. To end this, it is important to provide care, commitment, and compassion for the lives of many. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let us proceed to the awarding of certificates. Thank you so much, our dear panelists. So may we call on stage the EXICOM present today, Miss Dilan, our PIO, Miss Cindy, our TFO, and Miss Remy, our CSR, and then our honorary head for this event, Miss Julia, and special shout out to Miss Stacy, our EVC, and an honorary head as well of this event.
This certificate of appreciation is given to Professor January M. De Chavez, Mr. Jave Andre Lutivio, and Mr. Carl Bungalos. Citation reads, for their contributions, exerted effort, and inspiring role as one of the distinguished resource speakers during the BU Durugtungan's Thank You, BU, But What's Next? Conducted this March 13, 2024 at the Student Union Center, Bicol University, Legazpi City, Albay. Given this 30th day of March 2024. Signatories are as follows. Our Chairperson and Student Regent, Ms. Remy Stephanie Baldorado, Professor Michael Alagaban, Senior Advisor of BU-USC, and Professor Daves Altonga, the Dean of the Office of Student Affairs and Services. There you have it, everyone. Once again, let's give Professor De Chavez, Mr. Lutivio, and Mr. Bungalos a round of applause.
again, thank you so much to our resource speakers for a very insightful talk. I hope everyone here and those listening in the live have gained a lot of important insights that they will observe in their life, of course. So at this juncture, may we call back on stage for her closing remarks, our none other than our chairperson and student regent of the BUUSC, Miss Remy Estefany P. Baldorado.
Ayun. Alright, good afternoon po everyone. Once again, I am Remy Stephanie Baldorado, the chairperson and student regent of the University Student Council of Bicol University. So first of all, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to the participants, especially those who are present right now. I really appreciate your presence, guys, because I know that this event will be more effective if nandito physically, since andyan ang ating partners from SSS and from China Bank. Actually, second, I really want to express my gratitude then to both of our partners, to SSS and China Bank, because actually, this is a rare opportunity for our graduating students, especially to our interested students. And of course, our guest speakers, before, yung na-mention natin from China Bank, si Ma'am Jeanette Mapa, ay from SSS, and from China Bank, sila Ma'am Pat, Sir Dan, Ma'am Nina. So, I am very grateful on behalf of the University Student Council. And for the afternoon segment, we have Sir Bongalos, J. Blutivio, and of course, Professor January de Chavez. And that's why this event wouldn't be possible. Of course, ang nag-entertain sa ating mga participants are our hosts. In the first segment, we have Mark Justin Boral and Princess Ann Ruste. And of course, for the afternoon segment, we have Justin David Reynoso and Shane Therese Aguado. And of course, hindi ko ipapahuli ang aking working committee from the University Student Council. And ang ating CPRO, headed by Sir Arnold Noda. So siguro gusto ko siya actually isa-isahin because this event actually is somehow, kumbaga, let's say, since rare siya, hindi ko siya pwede, kumbaga, bitawan. So I tried my best, kahit short preparation, we tried our best to push this. So I'm really thankful sa aking honorary chairmans, which is si Stacy Daniel Alamares, and of course, my UC under the appraisers of the student regent. We have Julia Mendez, for internal affairs, for making sure that everything, the venue, everything we needed is here, which is headed by our IVC Mark Kenneth Salcedo, Jonathan Pelon, Alexandra Montesor, and so many more. Supported by my UC, of course, Johnny Magdaong. Our tech team, we can never forget about tech team supported by Ara Lampara. We have, of course, si Vince, na nag-venue prep din kaninang morning. So, nandito na po kami kaninang morning na 7 a.m. to prepare for the event. And then, of course, I'm really thankful sa publication material sa ating creatives, secretariat, and of course, I'm really grateful for, kumbaga, the effect and impact of this initiative to the, kumbaga, opportunities that it will bring to our participants today. And of course, I would like to thank the admin for their support because yun nga, we really grab this opportunity to, kumbaga, provide assistance to our graduating students and interested students. So I am very thankful that napagbigyan kami. So that would be all. Thank you so much po. Of course, shout out to my USC counselors and executive committee. Kahit, kumbaga, busy sila sa midterms and everything, they are still supporting and helping in any way they can for the University Student Council. And of course, for the welfare of our VUenos. Thank you so much po.
Thank you so much for our student regent, Miss Remy Stephanie Baldorado. And to close our activity for today, may we request everyone to be in front for a quick photo opportunity.
Picture, picture.
Picture po. Put on your best faces.
Gumitna na talaga, no?
Oo, gigitna na po kami.
Taga na po, everyone. Working com, participants, halika na po. And of course, we are your hosts. Justin David Reynoso from Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance and Development.
And Shane Teresa Guado from the Department of Political Science. Thank you, USC, for this opportunity. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Halika na po. Everyone, dito na po tayo para makapicture na. Halika na po, everyone. Thank you so much po.